Okay.
Hello.
Hello, welcome back.
Welcome to the Grumpy Old Gays.
So this week's episode.
Could you like and subscribe, please? I just want to get the subscriber numbers up. And we'll say that right at the beginning so that, in fact, you might actually do it for a change. If you're already a subscriber, great. The numbers are ticking up, but it'd be nice to have some more.
It'd be nice.
This is Margot.
Refer a
dog,
friend.
by the way. Yeah, refer a friend. What are we talking about this week?
The big thing for me
You're right.
is dogs digging.
That's not what I thought we were talking about.
The big thing for me, you'll know it.
Go on.
I've spent a winter trying to keep the fuel prices down as much as possible, only to get through it into the better months of the year to find the diesel prices and the petrol prices and the oil prices have just replaced everything.
Yeah, oil prices. So just when we thought that we might be in an area where, you know, we're coming into summer and it might be nicer to not spend as much money, we're going to spend more and more and more. So
when you want to get out and about, it's now going to cost you 10 times as much to fill the...
I'm very lucky. I'm a freelancer, and when I drive to jobs, I can claim that petrol, not from the employer, but I get it back on tax. So it's a taxable expense. I think the price of petrol now and the price of petrol, well, we'll talk about where I think it might go. The price of petrol
America,
now...
Gas.
Well, I mean, well, yeah. Let's not talk about the American view of it, shall we, right now? But in Britain, with the rising cost per litre, more and more people are stopping driving, but you can't if you work elsewhere. So I commute to all of the jobs that I do, and have to do that, and I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the cost of it.
I don't know, hypothetically in a supermarket, and you're 15 miles from home, 5 miles, 10 miles from home, even 5 miles from home, and you start work at 5 o'clock in the morning,
where there's no public transport
to get public transport, and it's impractical every day to get a taxi to and from work. The cost of filling up,
but also taxi prices are going to go right up with fuel going up.
I went away for the day to Birmingham last weekend, and whereas my car is a big car, you've seen you've seen the videos of it. And do I need a big car? Yes. Before anyone starts, I do a lot of shipping things around for work. I have a pop-up business.
And the grandfather clock.
And if you can hear that. It was already a third full of diesel.
Yeah.
And it would normally cost around about 85 pounds sterling to fill it. What's that, $120?
Yeah.
And it costs 70 to fill it, already being a third full.
And the prices are just going up and up. What I'm really worried about, because I know that because I've got to drive for work, I will suck up the cost and I will pay the cost. But where does it stop?
Well, I'll tell you what. If you can come up with a logical explanation in the comments, I'd be interested to see what you think. Is when we look at our prices of oil, this side of the pond, and the other prices. There are people in America that have always said to me, oh my God, how do you exist with the prices that you pay? And it's all down to tax.
Drill, baby, drill.
It's all down to tax. But how you guys in America don't have to tax it so high, and we do, I don't understand.
Well, I mean, that's a different conversation. In terms of just being able to get the oil into the refineries and be able to get petrol made, I am worried. I don't know this is going to happen, but I am worried that if any length of time goes on with the Iran conflict, that we're going to have petrol rationing and we're going to have queues at forecourts, which I remember from, was it the early 90s?
Yeah, I remember in the 70s.
It was, yeah, of course you do.
I do.
I meant when I was actually driving. But yeah.
No, I wasn't driving then.
I worry that we will have that, and then, you know, it feels like bits of society are falling apart because of that.
You know when you watch a sci-fi movie and the spacecraft is flying through and it's falling apart and bits of debris are falling off. It feels like that.
The world feels a little bit like that at the moment. Yeah, and there is no easy answer to it. As I was wondering whether there would be anything that we could. Yeah, if you live just around the corner from work, fab. Great,
Wonderful.
good on you.
Walk,
Absolutely. You will walk to work and there will be no issue there. An awful lot of people don't. And that was always the way back in the 70s, the 60s, the 50s and before.
Communities were built on people.
Geographical movement of labour was not a thing. Since then, and technology, the geographical movement of labour has... So you are more likely to live further away from your job.
Absolutely. All my teachers when I was a child all lived within
In the
2 or
town.
3 streets
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Now, teachers typically travel 45 minutes to an hour every day, twice a day.
And that's a lot of petrol.
That's a lot of children not being schooled because people can't afford to get to school or can't get the fuel to get to school or can't heat the schools.
When does it get to the point that people start ringing their employer and say, I don't have any petrol, there isn't any petrol in my town, I can't queue for 3 hours only to find the petrol pump is then empty?
I think that's been booked in for next Thursday. Pretty much. I think that will happen very, very quickly because we know very quickly when the wheels buckle, the first thing to go is the petrol stations end up with no fuel, and then people start panic buying. And when they
don't panic buy. It's the worst thing you can do.
Unless you're an oil company. Unless you're an oil company. But once people start panic buying, we had it in lockdown. Toilet rolls, pasta.
The most ridiculous thing, which they didn't need to do.
They didn't need to do. But and it wasn't that there was a supply problem. It was that they couldn't get it in the stores quick enough to keep it on the shelves. It wasn't.
Can you give me some kind of hope here, please?
No.
Oh.
No, I can't. And no politician can.
No,
nobody can. It's just it's all uncertain. And whilst
we're not living in an easy time, are we?
No. But on that note, there's a lovely, gorgeous dog here.
Yeah. Keep the ones that you love close to you.
Yeah.
Keep your pets close to you because
we might need them.
They're the most important people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And if you do live close to work, I'm serious. You are one of the lucky ones right now. And if you don't need to drive, it might be a really good way of finding alternative ways of getting around. If you don't need to do it, I'm already cutting out journeys that I don't need to do.
But ironically, it's the wrong people cutting out there. When we talk about global warming and all the things, we always think here in the UK. Certainly, we always think here in the UK. Hang on a minute, you're telling us not to turn our heating up, but we've got other countries in the world that are just burning tyres.
Yes. There's the other big thing as well, with oil being, unless the Strait of Hormuz can be opened, please, whoever you pray to, please pray to them. Unless the Strait of Hormuz can be opened, this is things like fertilizer, because I hadn't realised, I'm listening to a programme a couple of weeks ago, fertilizer is made from petroleum distillate product. Yeah. And it's like, is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah. And so if they can't grow crops, the crop price is going to go up. All of the food price goes up. Then, of course, inflation goes up.
Yep.
Then, of course, when inflation goes up, interest rates go up because it has to match. They can't come down. And then suddenly you're in this...
bubble. Evolving circle.
I mean, almost like a whirlwind.
Yeah.
And what's the answer? As you say, there is no
answer. Growth is the answer, not inflation. But I sound like a politician.
But then, and then we're not making political points. We're just going, hang on, how did we end up as hell in a handcart so quickly? I mean, it's giving us stuff to moan about, granted.
Should we leave it there?
Yeah. Sorry to be so bleak. It's a bit of a bleak one.
Send us a comment. Send us a comment. Something positive.
Try and cheer us up.
Tell us something good that's going on in your world.
Yeah.
Because there ain't much here. Bye.